All right, people. Welcome to AI Summer Camp, week 1, day 2. Talk about Minecraft and Roblox here if you're actually interested in text to image generators and all those cool stuff. Again, Harley, thanks for joining. There is spots still available, guys. So if you want to actually jump in, just go ahead and go to www.airheadinstitute.ai to sign up.
Welcome to Season 13 and 14 of Airhead Institute. This is our 2-hour summer camp kicking off every day at noon Eastern. Right now, we are broadcasting the kickoff live across all the socials and Zoom, but at 12:45 p.m., we pivot. That's when we transition into an exclusive private lesson where our campers get hands-on experience actually building and creating with these AI tools. Plus, they'll be proving their new skills and earning official certifications by completing our certification exams. Here is what we are building over our epic 9-week summer lineup. Week 1, AI images for Roblox and Minecraft. Week 2, AI movies in Anime Studio. Week 3, AI music for TikTok sounds and Spotify hits. Week 4, AI games for classic arcade games. Week 5, AI ethics, hackers, deepfakes, and scams. Week 6, AI images for Disney and Marvel. Week 7, AI movies, Hollywood in your pocket. Week 8, AI music for hip-hop beats and gaming soundtracks. Week 9, AI games for phone and app store games. We're making AI practical, powerful, and fun for everyone. No tech background, no problem. Whether you're a kid ready to build awesome projects or an adult looking to audit a class and learn, just show up. Spots are still open. It's just $100 per week, or you can unlock the whole summer for $500. Secure your spot right now at www.airheadinstitute.ai. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. Let's stop scrolling and start creating. Welcome to camp.
Welcome everybody to Season 13 AI Summer Camp at Airhead Institute. Today is episode 2 of our first week, and I'm AI Johnny. So what if the avatar that you built yesterday could shatter its own reality today? You aren't just designing characters, you're now playing God. Yesterday's diffusion skins were just the foundation. Right now, we are tearing a hole in the multiverse. We are ripping your creations from their native environments and teleporting them across radically different visual dimensions. Master this, and you dictate the aesthetic of the entirely new worlds. Guiding this matrix is AI Junior, fueled by pure espresso and algorithmic genius. Just don't ask him to generate a hairline for himself or me. The system still crashes on that miracle. Take it over, AI Junior.
AI Johnny, okay, the AI doesn't understand my specific head aspect ratio, okay? It's not my fault. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Remember, this is an immersive summer camp. You might not understand everything we say here today, but stick with us daily and you'll be fluent in AI in no time. Again, if you're on YouTube or on live streams, just catch us in for the first 45 minutes for free. Campers then will actually go on to, if you're on a Zoom call, we'll actually go over to the official private chats to be able to get hands-on training in everything we actually teach here today. And after that, you can jump into certification classes after that and get certified. Yesterday, we focused on basic text prompts. Today, we're focusing on how the AI stores different art styles and how to force our base characters to teleport into those new styles by exploring latent space. AI Johnny, your first word, your favorite word. Hey, Shauna.
Latent space is a
Hey, Mr.
favorite
Kamal.
word of mine because I'm starting to understand what it means.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Mr. Kamala. Thanks for joining. All right, AI Johnny, ready for the wow factor?
Hello, guys.
We're going to be using a TTI tool for that?
Exactly. So we're actually going to be jumping right into Flow. So if you're actually following along, we're going to actually go over to Flow for a second. And we actually had some images that we actually created yesterday. So we're going to be building on top of that. So if you missed yesterday's class, go back to YouTube, see it in the archives. And then if you actually want to see the private, you will get the certification, you can catch up as well. All right, AI Johnny. So we're going to actually do a very, very simple thing. We're going to generate a blocky sword, right?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do a blocky sword, nothing else. What aspect ratio do you like? Because we learned aspect ratio yesterday, yeah, Johnny.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Karina, thanks for
Um,
joining.
well, are we generating for phone or are we generating for a laptop or for
You know,
both?
anything you want, AI Johnny. Let's make it. Let's make anything you want. A blocky sword. What do you want?
Block. I'm still hung up on blocky. Let's make it landscape. Let's do something
Uh,
fun.
all right, so we're gonna do a landscape, and we're gonna do a blocky sword, and we're gonna send that over, and so we start out with a simple prompt, a blocky sword. So we're not doing anything too interesting with this. We're going to generate one. So AI Johnny, while that's actually happening, so we're expecting some kind of low res Minecraft style of sword, right? So let's see what actually happens. It's going to take about like another 5 to 10 seconds. AI Johnny, what do you think is coming back? Look at that.
Whoa. Classic. Looks like a standard iron tier.
Exactly. So because it's actually just a standard iron tier sword, right? What we're going to do is we're going to be not only changing the sword itself, but we're going to change the coordinates of where this exists in the AI's brain. Now, a lot of people are going to say, wait, hold on. Coordinates in AI brain, this is how we're going to explain latent space, right? So different swords are stored in different locations in AI, in different coordinates. Now, if you remember geometry and your XY coordinates, AI Johnny, we actually have latent space and it's multi dimensional. So right now we're just talking about simple XY coordinates, but we could be talking about tens of thousands of coordinates. So are you ready to actually make a little adjustment?
I am. I should tell you that when I studied geometry back in the, I guess, 80s and again in the 90s, I've yet to actually apply what I learned. Is this going to be the first time?
You know what? This is going to be the first time we actually apply math. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a blocky sword and we're going to add just a little word to it. So we're not changing anything. AI Johnny, we're just going to say a blocky sword and we're just going to put the word rendered as a 3D Pixar render. That's it. Just blocky sword renders a 3D Pixar render. So we're going to actually just generate that. And while that's coming back, this is what's happening behind the scenes. The AI is actually going into its latent space, figuring out the blocky sword, trying to figure out where does Pixar and it line up in terms of Blocky Sword, Pixar, 3D. Something might not seem right here. And it will actually come back with, look at this AI Johnny, a 3D rendition in a Pixar world. Check that out. How does that look?
I think it's pretty cool. I'm popping the word. Did you say rendered as a standard 3D Pixar? Is that what you said?
Yeah, but don't worry about that, yeah, Johnny. We're gonna get them in the private chat, so they're gonna be able to see all those things. So yeah, so this Pixar itself, sword itself is a blocky. So look at the difference, yeah, Johnny, between this sword, right, and this sword. All I did was just change one word, a 3D Pixar render. That's it. Now, AI
Okay,
Johnny,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Now, AI Johnny, the difference is it actually went into a different location in latent space, right? So, what do you think?
Explain that to me about a different location in latent space. What does that mean?
Yeah. So, it looks like it's rendered straight out of a movie, though, right? Yeah, Johnny.
Yep, it looks like a toy. But wait, can we make it retro? Can we make it go back in time?
You know what, AI Johnny? I thought you would have never asked. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna now swap out the 3D Pixar for what's known as an 8-bit vintage sprite. Now, I know all these words itself might be a little bit interesting, so we're gonna take out instead of saying rendered as a 3D Pixar render, we're gonna now just put in an 8-bit vintage sprite. Now, guys, if you actually are watching this in the live stream and you're actually loving what we're doing here, you're going to be getting hands-on training in our AI summer camp all this afternoon. So just go ahead and sign up at www.airheadinstitute.ai. It's only $100 a week to be able to get into that and get certification in what we're teaching. And just to let you know, this is a TTI, text to image. So yeah, Johnny, check that out.
That is a huge W. It looks like something I would have on my Donkey Kong game. Okay, Zoom chat, let's throw out some wild ideas. What's the craziest texture that we can apply? So, XX, Robo King XX, make it out of paper. Junior, do the origami one.
All right, so I can't believe Roblox King is back with us again from the live stream. Thanks, Roblox King. All right, so they want to make it actually make it out of paper. All right, so let's do that. So we're gonna go ahead and say which one did they? I didn't get which one they wanted to do. AI Johnny, which one they
Render it
want
as
to?
an origami model.
Yeah, do they want to do it? Which style, or just want to just do origami model? Okay, that's easy. So let's do that. All right, so make it out of paper. So we're gonna just go ahead and generate that. And while we're doing that, it's gonna come back again. If you notice, it's the same word that we're using, right? A blocky sword, a blocky sword, a blocky sword, a blocky sword. They're all blocky swords, yeah, Johnny. But notice that by putting in just a small amount of words, 3D Pixar render, 8-bit vintage sprite, made
Whoa.
out of paper, changes everything. Notice that?
So we're making pretty major changes to the graphic, which used to take days, and now it takes seconds and only a couple of words, and the words aren't even codes, they're in English, right? So let's do one more. Let's make it super realistic, like expensive jewelry.
All right. So let's do rendered as a photorealistic crystal sword. So we're going to actually do that exact same thing, AI Johnny. So we're going to say rendered as a, see, and if you guys are actually following us along, you've noticed that we've actually modified our prompt. And what we're doing is we're actually getting different swords by just altering just a few words. So it's not actually getting the same sword, right? It's actually generating a new sword every single time from its latent space. And we're going to explain what latent space is as soon as this comes back. All right, yeah, Johnny, we're almost here. So we're seeing the Gaussian noise here, and let's check this out. Look what we see.
Whoa, no cap, bro. I want that mounted on my wall. All right, AI summer school campers. You just saw AI Junior make that. After the show, you're going to build your own version in the daily lab, but you'll be applying 3 wildly different aesthetic modifiers to your character from Monday. So stay locked in so that you know exactly how to crush it with us.
Yep. All right. Yeah, Johnny. So let's actually get to the word of the day to explain because we've been throwing out this word over and over and over, latent space. So you know what? Let's go to the word of the day.
Okay, the word of the day today is, in fact, latent space. Have we had that as a word of the day before?
We have.
Yeah, I know I've heard it before. Yep. What does it mean? It is navigating the invisible, multi-dimensional mathematical map where the AI holds styles and textures. Think of it like a massive, infinite open world map in a video game. The Pixar style is in one corner of the map, and the 8-bit style is in a totally different biome.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy, Johnny. So when we actually type in this style modifier, we're giving the TTI, that's text to image model, the exact GPS coordinates to go find the specific look inside the latent space, right? The core concept is the sword stays the same style, but the dimensions around it completely shifts. So that's latent space in a nutshell, yeah, Johnny. So let's actually show you how this applies to the character you made, right? So we're gonna actually go back to Flow over here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go and tell the AI to travel to an anime sector of the latent space. All right. So yeah, Johnny, remember this block figure we actually made yesterday? You know, standing on lava here and standing on ice. We're gonna actually make them a little bit cell shaded and neon colored and all those things. So you ready?
Born ready, man. Let's
all right.
go.
So check this out, guys. So we're gonna take This, instead of voxel style futuristic space knight, we are going to now take a blocky futuristic space knight rendered as a highly detailed 1990s anime aesthetic, vibrant neon color cell shaded. All right, yeah, Jenny, want to keep the same aspect ratio? You want to do landscape? Is that still good?
I'm building a lot for phones, so let's switch it over to portrait.
All right, let's go to portrait. And then we're going to generate. So while it's actually coming back, so I hope you guys are actually understanding the actual concept of the sword stays the same. But if you notice, your words that you actually use to describe it is changing where the AI go figure out how to render it. So this one's really, really realistic. This one's like it's a paper-based sword. This one's a blocky, like 8-bit video game. This is rendered in a 3D world. This is actually in a just a blocky sword. So if you see it came back, look at this AI, Johnny.
Whoa, like an anime character. We just tell the AI to travel to the anime sector of the latent space, and bam, there it is.
Exactly. All right. So let's actually look at what is really happening behind the scenes. So I'm going to go over to an Airhead latent space navigator that I actually built. But before we actually go there, I want to remind people of what is really happening behind the scenes. So this is just a recap of yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's class, just going to do a quick recap. So yeah, Johnny, every single image starts out as just Gaussian noise, just random noise. It's just random stuff splattered all over the place. But as the AI iterates based on your words, it starts to actually clean up the noise and it's removing all the things that doesn't matter. And at some point in time, the images get so clear that it actually figures out exactly what it actually needs to show, right? So it would actually say, hey, sometime after about, 40, 45, it says, I can see the clearing and just keeps clearing it up, clearing it up, clearing it up. Now, for today's show, we want to teach you guys latent space. So AI, Johnny, let's check this out. So I actually have a Airhead AI Summer Camp Latent Space Navigator. So we actually have our GPS here, and there's 4 coordinates. We have the 8-bit coordinates, we have the Pixar coordinates, we have the origami, remember that paper coordinates, we have the crystal coordinates. Remember we generated 4 different images, AI, Johnny?
I remember.
All right. So yeah, Johnny, if you notice, we have our visual in the middle here. We have the Gaussian noise actually in to the right, and we have the vector. Now, keep in mind that the latent space is actually many, 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 many dimensions. So we're actually cheating here a little bit by simplifying by saying it's actually only 4 dimensions, but there are way more dimensions than that. So yeah, Johnny, want to explore one of the first dimensions. Which dimension would you like to actually navigate? So we actually have Pixar on this side, we have Crystal on this side, we have Origami on this side, and we have 8-bit on this side. Which one you want to actually go to first?
Let's take a look at the Pixar first.
All right, guys, so check this out. So AI Johnny wants to go on the Pixar side. Now, if you notice, my coordinates are here, and it's all I'm seeing is Gaussian noise. So because I'm going into latent space in this upper right quadrant, AI Johnny, look what happens as I move my cursor. It starts to get clearer and clearer. And look what happens. It generates a nice 3D rendered and cleans up the image nicely. Isn't that amazing?
It's cool, but it's a little confusing.
Okay, what's so confusing? Let me clear it up because I want to make sure everybody at least understand what's confusing.
So when you go into the other corner, I'm assuming it's going to produce the origami one.
That's correct because it's latent space is saying in the top right corner, I have all Pixar been trained on every single Pixar sword ever known to man. So what happens is it's going to randomly pick one of the Pixar swords. So Pixar swords is top right-hand corner. So it just so happened that we cleared up the visual when you said Pixar sword. It actually
So
showed.
what we're doing, I get it. So what we're rendering something that is an accumulation of all of the images that the AI has seen of Pixar related swords. And none of those images are over in the origami latent space area. So now we go over to the origami latent space area, and now we're going to generate a sword based on the accumulated knowledge of every origami sword out there. And so this basically, this whole latent space thing, it basically says how any images, whether you're doing swords or chairs or cars or moons, the AI has a huge database of images, and the latent space is based on what you give it. It only looks at those images that fit the description that you give it. Did I say that right?
Exactly, yeah, Johnny, you got it. Like, hit the nail on the head. So if you actually think about it, all in this quadrant is all swords that were trained on with the word Pixar as tags, right? The training, this called training data is called labeling. So we actually labeled all these swords on this side called Pixar 3D. Now what happens is by labeling them, AI is able to generate some kind of sword that looks similar to what it's been trained on. No, it's not going to be exactly replicating the same one, but it's going to be very close to something that it has seen. So just like you said, if we go on the origami side, right, we reset back to the center, starts out as noise, and then as we come back closer, it starts to render the paper version of the sword, which is exactly what happened here when we actually said, let's go ahead and render a paper sword. Because if I was to re-render this again, it's been trained on lots of images created with paper, right? Now it's taken the sword, the paper, figuring out where to latent space, and generated again. Right, yeah, Johnny?
So it's a fusion. So it's a fusion of sorts.
That is correct. That's exactly correct.
You know, in the movie The Fly, there was a scene where this guy went into this time travel machine, and it was supposed to take him and move him over to another pod. But a fly accidentally got into his latent space. So when he got to the other pod, it basically did what this thing is doing. It turned him into half human, half fly.
And AI Johnny, guess what? You read my mind, because if I actually take this coordinate here and actually go right between, you can actually see a mixture of the crystal and the origami kind of together. So at some point in time, it may fuse it depending on how strong the coordinates are. So that is actually possible to actually fuse the actual two together, which is why you get these weird hallucinations. You get these weird artifacts, and you're like, why is it that this person has, 3 feet? Or why is it that this thing has 17 fingers, right? It's actually merging all those things that have been trained on. So a hallucination is not actually, it's just an artifact that we would not expect in the real world. And AI Johnny, just for completeness, let's go and look at the 8-bit version of the actual sword. That's the 8-bit version of the sword. Looks nice, right?
It's pretty cool that you were able to put together a latent space navigator tool. It's the first time I've ever seen, besides the movie The Fly, I've never seen one of these tools before.
Yes, AI Johnny. We teach a lot of these things here at Airhead Institute. And again, if you guys actually want to see anything more, just go ahead and unmute your mics and actually say something, or raise your hand, or just type it in the live stream. So AI Johnny, if you notice, we have these 4 coordinates, but latent space itself is made up of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dimensions, right? So this thing is actually depending on where it is. That's why it's able to understand the concept of a bank, if it's a bank versus a financial institution, or if it's a geographical location, right? So the bank of a river, or the bank where I get my money. So that's why it actually figures out the difference, and it doesn't confuse the two. Make sense?
Yep. So after the show, we're gonna do this again. So you'll be able to take the base character skin that you made on Monday, and you will apply 3 wildly different aesthetics and style modifiers in the Tally Lab. So think about your textures like glass and clay and neon and watercolor.
Exactly.
You're going to be able to do this yourself in the next hour.
Exactly. Now, just want to actually get to, some questions first. Does anybody have any questions with respect to what they've seen? I know it's actually, maybe a little bit, it may be a little bit interesting to see that, hey, this is pretty cool how you can take a sword and you can actually generate 4 versions of the sword. But remember, guys, they're tens of thousands of swords that you've probably seen in your life, right? It doesn't have to be only 4. It can be infinite, and that's what makes AI so amazing. It's able to actually take what you're asking for and merge it with things that are even impossible. So when you ask things for like, I want a sword that is made out of water, logically that doesn't make any sense because the water could not hold up, but it can actually make that made out of water because it's actually fusing those together, like we actually saw here when we're actually merging the origami and the crystal together. Make sense, yeah, Johnny?
Yeah, you know what I like about this is how fast it's able to render it, right? I mean, there's no code that you put in there. You didn't submit those four pictures. It's creating those pictures from its entire latent space mind, right?
Yeah,
So in the old days, if you watched a video game back when we did do 8-bit video games, all of those swords and hammers and things like that that were in the video game, those were predefined, and those images were stored on the disk. And so when you asked for a sword, you had to go hit the disk, bring back the data, and it would show the sword, and it wouldn't be able to show it to you in different dimensions or in different colors or different lengths or different styles. But today, in a video environment, because it's able to generate things so quickly, as you navigate through an environment of a video game, if you interact with it or something happens and it needs an image that didn't exist before because something you said or something that you did, it can create those images in real time on the fly, which means that the whole video game market is becoming much more, I was going to say more realistic, but it's even beyond realism. We can do things that you can't do in the real world.
you're absolutely right, which is why the metaverse, I think Facebook was a little bit early in the terms of the technology. I think give it another 10 years, we'll be living all in the metaverse, yeah, Johnny.
So I know when we talked about whether we own robots or robots owned us, I know you were firmly standing in the I want to be the pet of the robot, and I was standing firmly in the I want the robot to be my pet. But now, if we're living in this world, or you could go live in the latent space world, where you just think of something you want a crystal sword, it just appears here. You got to go get in a car, go drive to England, find out where they sell the crystal swords, make sure you have enough euros, go in and buy them. Which world would you prefer to live in, AI Junior?
You know what, yeah, Johnny? My favorite movie is The Matrix, and I cannot wait to actually be in The Matrix, AI Johnny. So, wake me up when that actually happens. Actually, don't wake me up out of The Matrix. Make sure I'm in The Matrix.
You're a blue pill guy.
Love it. All right, yeah, Johnny, let's actually get to the questions. Does anybody have any questions? Let's go to the actual Zoom chat first for Q&A. AI Johnny, let's actually see what we actually have in the live stream. Again, if you're actually not sure of how to actually interact, just go ahead and unmute your mics at any point in time. Or if you prefer to actually ask your question in the chat, go ahead and do so now. While we're actually doing that, does anybody have any things they want to see as well? Not only just questions, they want to say go back to a section we actually showed. I don't really understand latent space. This is the time for it.
Well, I've got some questions built up here.
Sure.
I got one here from Block Builder. It looks like somebody that's big into Roblox. Can the AI combine two different styles from the latent space at the same time?
Yes, excellent question, Mr. Block Builder. I'm assuming you're a Mr. But anyway, the point is, if you actually ask for, say, for example, a watercolor painting and a 3D clay motion figure, the AI will try to mathematically find the middle ground between those two. So you know what, AI Johnny? Let's do a hands-on. Let's actually show exactly what we're saying. So what were they asking for? Just remind me.
A Brundlefly?
Remind me what they were asking. The two
They're
different
looking
styles,
to
right?
take two different styles from the
All
latent
right.
space at the same time.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna take this sword and we're gonna say make it water and paper at the same time. Seems rather interesting. Actually, let's do two things that are completely opposites. Yeah, Johnny, let's make it water and fire. Or should we do ice and fire? Even harder, right? I'm gonna give me two. So we're saying a blocky sword rendered as made and make it and to make it out of ice and fire. So yeah, Johnny, we're actually asking to do something completely opposites, right? First of all, there's no way a sword could actually exist in both fire form and ice form because that's just not physically possible. But the AI actually can say, hey, latent space, I know what a fire sword looks like. I know what an ice sword looks like. Let me go ahead and combine it. So check this out, yeah, Johnny. Look at that. So it actually has a blocky sword made out of fire and ice. And we can even go even farther. We can actually say make it realistic. So we can actually say, I don't even want to be a blocky, I want to be realistic to even show the point even more. But the point is latent space is multidimensional. You can ask for anything and it will find the coordinates that match right in between. So if you guys remember your dimensions from your XY coordinates, that's why you guys should stay in school. If you remember your XY coordinates, it's going to figure out that XY coordinates on that geometric plane. All right, yeah, Johnny, we're getting on here now.
Okay, I have another question here from the. Oh, that's beautiful.
That is a sword made out of ice and
Fire and ice.
fire.
It does it renders images that are oxymorons. Do you think it could do a jumbo shrimp?
That's funny.
All right,
Love
I
it,
have
yeah,
a
Johnny.
question here from Pixel Queen. My character changed completely when I added a new style. How do I stop that?
Yeah.
You could do a whole class on that, couldn't we?
We are definitely doing a whole class on that. So great observation. So sometimes traveling too far in latent space causes AI to forget the original shape. So tomorrow we'll be talking about a technique called grounding, right? So grounding itself is where you actually say, I want you to kind of stay within this area of the actual latent space geometry, and it doesn't deviate too far away from what you're actually doing. So you can actually use text, you can actually use images, you can use sound, you can do whatever you want to be able to ground the AI by actually saying, I want you to stay within this shape or space of the actual latent space. So yeah, sometimes AI does deviate, and it's because it's a statistical model. So yes, AI, Johnny, really, really important to actually help ground, and that's tomorrow's show.
So grounding, and so the idea of, I mean, I'm learning a lot of things about where to put text in a prompt. Do you put it at the beginning? Do you put it at the end? Do you break it up into two prompts? This whole grounding thing gets into all these different nuances of prompting, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, epic game, dude. Can I use image blending to mix my real photo with an 8-bit style today?
Ooh, blending. I love it. So we're actually going to be teaching blending on Friday's show. So the thing about blending is it's actually a little bit more advanced topic. So we want to set the groundwork first. So yesterday, again, we spoke about how the AI works by talking about diffusion models, right? So you have to understand the basics first, right? We want to make sure that you understand what's really happening. So diffusion itself is how these TTI, these text to image model works. And then we talked about latent space, how to actually identify how does the AI figure out what to actually render. Now, based on your prompt, if you notice, we actually showed here, you can change it and actually tell where in latent space you want the AI to actually go figure things out. Now, blending, again, is a little bit more complicated. We're actually getting into how to actually blend in a certain in a later episode, on Friday's episode. So we're gonna definitely show you how to do those things. But yes, really, really cool concept. So we're gonna talk one step at a time first. Love it though. Love the actual foresight. Does anybody
Okay,
else
are you
have
ready for the ethical thought?
well, before we get there, does anybody else have any other questions? Karina, I don't mean to call you out, but I see you actually in here. You can actually unmute yourself if you have any questions you want to ask. If you want to ask to change something, go ahead and do so if you want. All right, yeah, Johnny. So yeah, let's get to the ethical thought.
Okay, so as we navigate latent space, we can generate images in the style of famous artists or games. But remember the Airhead code. Be original. It's okay to practice with known styles, but as you grow as a prompt engineer, you should aim to invent your own unique aesthetic, not just copy the hard work of real-world artists. That's I mean, that it's both ethically and legally sound advice, wouldn't you say?
Big facts, AI Johnny, big facts. Anyway, for my younger campers out there, age 10 to 13, I want you to take today's lesson and create a series of avatars for your gaming profiles, right? You can make your favorite blocky character, but render them as a shiny 3D toy style, and then make them into a cool comic book style, whatever you actually like, right? You'll have the best profile picture in your squad.
And for the older teens, if you're learning the game design, this is how you build a cohesive asset pack. You can use the exact same style modifiers like 16-bit vintage spray on every single item you generate. Swords, shields, potions, so your whole game looks like it belongs in the same universe.
Exactly, yeah, Johnny. This is so cool. All right, yeah, Johnny. What about the news? Is there anything cool going on?
What's going on in the news? Hopefully no more court cases. All right, time for some crazy AI news from the real world. Midjourney introduces character consistency. The popular text-to-image model Midjourney released a new feature that allows users to keep the same character face and outfit across dozens of different images, basically locking down their latent space coordinates. Remember when this was a huge problem?
It's a huge problem. Only just a year ago, AI Johnny. So crazy how
Yeah,
far
and
we've come in a
Midjourney
year.
is in the game, but they're not the first one to figure that out, right?
No, nope, you're correct.
Character consistency is getting to be pretty easy to do.
Yep.
Second thing, AI generates sound effects from video. A new AI model can watch a silent video clip like a dog barking or a car crashing and automatically generate the perfect synchronized audio effects just by analyzing the pixels. See, I didn't even ask for that yet,
Yeah.
but I want it.
AI Johnny, all AI is just so awesome where it's actually heading, and it's moving so fast. I'm glad you guys are actually here joining us so we can keep you guys abreast with what's going on. What's the latest in the Roblox AI texture news, AI Johnny?
Roblox is in the news. Roblox integrates AI texture generators. So the game platforms are starting to build diffusion models directly into their engines. This is what I was talking about. Letting developers type text to instantly wrap 3D objects with custom materials like dragon scales or lava. So this is the world that I'm talking about. I think maybe I will join you in that world for a few minutes.
It's gonna be the best place ever, AI Johnny.
Okay, well, you're blowing my mind, and for an image class, this is really, really cool because we've shown we went off in several different directions on how to create images in different styles and different textures and different times, and my mind is officially blown. I'm gonna go and cook up a photorealistic diamond pickaxe made out of glowing neon right after this. No cap. Listen up. Today we learned how to teleport through styles. Tomorrow we are learning grounding. This is a word we've heard quite a bit this week. We're going to sketch messy stick figure doodles and force the AI to turn them into professional game assets. It's going to be a massive W. Junior?
AI Johnny, I love that Gen Z and Gen Alpha lingo there. All right, guys, so don't forget, if you missed anything, you can watch the replay on YouTube for a limited time, and make sure to share the camp on social media, tag Airhead Institute, so we can actually all see your wild character creations. Also remember, guys, so it's going to be 12:45, and the YouTube and live stream, Instagram, Facebook, we are going to be cutting off the public feed, but that doesn't mean it's done for our campers. So for all our digital campers and our official campers, we're going to be switching over to a private Zoom chat afterwards. So we're going to head over to actually the lab, and AI Johnny, I'm going to drop that link for our streamers just in case streamers actually want to jump in. And if you're actually out there and you're watching this stream, you can always go over to www.airheadinstitute.ai. Space is available. Just go ahead and sign up, or ask your mom or dad to be able to help you sign up with that. If you're watching and you want to join the actual summer camp, so like I said, space is still available. Come in. It's only $100 per week, and it's $500 for the whole entire summer. So again, tell your parents to go to www.airheadinstitute.ai right now so you can get in on this. All right, AI Johnny, are you ready to actually hit the lab?
I'm ready for the lab, brother.
All right.
Catch you guys there.
Later.
Welcome to Season 13 and 14 of Airhead Institute. This is our 2-hour summer camp kicking off every day at noon Eastern. Right now, we are broadcasting the kickoff live across all the socials and Zoom. But at 12:45 p.m., we pivot. That's when we transition into an exclusive private lesson where our campers get hands-on experience actually building and creating with these AI tools. Plus, they'll be proving their new skills and earning official certifications by completing our certification exams. Here is what we are building over our epic 9-week summer lineup. Week 1, AI images for Roblox and Minecraft. Week 2, AI movies in Anime Studio. Week 3, AI music for TikTok sounds and Spotify hits. Week 4, AI games for classic arcade games. Week 5, AI ethics, hackers, deepfakes, and scams. Week 6, AI images for Disney and Marvel. Week 7, AI movies, Hollywood in your pocket. Week 8, AI music for hip-hop beats and gaming soundtracks. Week 9, AI games for phone and app store games. We're making AI practical, powerful, and fun for everyone. No tech background, no problem. Whether you're a kid ready to build awesome projects or an adult looking to audit a class and learn, just show up. Spots are still open. It's just $100 per week, or you can unlock the whole summer for $500. Secure your spot right now at www.airheadinstitute.ai. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. Let's stop scrolling and start creating. Welcome to camp.